everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to a new video. My name is Sandy, I live in London, I am German, and I do videos about traveling and London lifestyle. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to work full-time and travel at the same time. Let's get started straight away because I know you guys have been waiting for this video. You keep sending me messages like, Sandy, I didn't know you actually have a full-time job. How are you managing to travel all the time? So hopefully I can help you today. The first one I want to talk about is define what work and travel actually means. So what I mean by that is, you know, working full-time, traveling full-time, there's a lot of different definitions for different people. So we'll tell you what it meant and means for me, and then you can decide what you want to take from that and what is possible in your life. Working full-time for me means having a 9-to-5 job, and essentially that is most of the time Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or in London more like 9 to 6. But this is what I define as working full-time. I have done that for many years. Only now in the last 2 months I was lucky enough to reduce my time to 4 days a week, but I've done it for long enough, so hopefully I know what I'm talking about. And traveling full-time, by that I do not mean obviously traveling the world 24/7. If this is what you want to do, I'm sure there's a lot of videos about that. What we're talking about today is traveling frequently. So traveling once or twice a month whilst you're having this job. Next, let's talk about money, because I know that this is super important, if not maybe the most important part that people want to know about. So one of the biggest misconceptions about traveling, and this is so important, is that traveling is expensive. That is not the truth. Trust me guys, if you're gonna go on, I don't know, EasyJet or Ryanair actually right now, you're gonna find flights as cheap as like $4.99. You're gonna think that it's not true. Have a look, come back, comment below. Flying anywhere within Europe, you know, sometimes even fairly last minute, isn't expensive. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. So basically this means that these flights are not gonna be the comfortable lunchtime flights, you know, these flights are gonna be at 6 AM in the morning. So I have made a lot of sacrifices traveling and working full time, meaning sometimes, or actually pretty much all the time, I had to get up at 3 AM in the morning to catch a 6 AM flight to Slovenia. If you haven't watched my Slovenia videos, they're in the cards. But I did that, and like that I traveled with my full-time job to Slovenia at the same time because I paid literally nothing for that flight, which I think was with Wizz Air at the time. Also, another sacrifice you might want to make in order to travel cheap is obviously accommodation. If you're a luxury traveler, this will be a little bit difficult, but this is not what this video is about. It's about just traveling and experiencing other cultures. So you can experience another culture staying in an Airbnb that you're sharing with the host. You can also experience another culture going into a hostel or even a capsule hostel, which I actually also did a video about, so it's also in the cards and obviously on the side. So accommodation doesn't have to be luxurious. It can be as cheap as, in London for example, £15 a night, which is crazy. So do not get like, don't be scared that you can't afford to travel when you're having an average paying full-time job. That is not true. A few years ago, I was earning about £27,000 a year, and I still traveled at least once or twice a month on that salary because traveling is not expensive. Okay, the next one is very important as well. So people say, but how do you have enough holiday days from your actual work? Like, how can you take off so much time to go abroad? Now, the truth is, I don't have, or most people who travel a lot don't have much more holidays than, you know, other people. So I think the average holiday allowance someone in the UK has is between 21 and 25 days plus bank holidays. That really isn't that much, but you can do so much with it, trust me. So what you're gonna have to do first is maximize your annual leave. So what that means is, in the UK, we have something called bank holidays. These are, I guess the more public term for it is public holidays. So imagine one of these days actually falls on a Monday or a Friday. Genius, because you can book holidays off around that. Let's say it's a Monday, so obviously then you're gonna book the Friday before off, and like that you have 4 days holiday when really you just booked 1 day. So this is amazing amazing, but it does require planning. So actually my friend Sophie from Sophie's Suitcase has written a blog post on how to maximize your annual leave this year in 2019. So I'm going to put it down below, and basically you can read about magical things that you can do with bank holidays, which is basically like taking 4 days off but actually having like 10 days holiday this year. So have a look there. Super helpful. But like I said, this does require planning. So if you have work full-time and you want to travel a lot, plan ahead, look at blog posts like this, look at when the public holidays are, and this is not only true for the UK, public holidays exist most places. So look at the year and plan, and you know, book a holiday in advance. Like that it will be cheaper, you're more likely to get it off, and obviously, you know, you can potentially even save some money to, like, you know, do something slightly more expensive when you're there. Then let's also talk about what traveling means in terms of where you're gonna go. So for me, traveling doesn't always mean flying somewhere to a foreign country far away for like 10 hours. It doesn't. Traveling might well mean driving somewhere or taking the train for 1 or 2 hours somewhere close and having a holiday there. So I did that a lot, in fact. So I think one of the ones that I actually filmed where you can watch the video is a day trip that I did to Bristol. So Bristol is 2 hours on the train from London, and it felt like a beautiful holiday because Bristol is, you know, so different to London and it's got so much to show. So think about where you can go that doesn't require flying forever, because if you fly a long time, this limited amount of time that you have actually, you know, is even more limited. So think about where you can drive, where you can take the train, and especially in the UK this is pretty awesome. But most countries in Europe and probably beyond Europe offer amazing travel destinations that are reachable within 1, 2 or maybe 3 hours. Have a look at that, and obviously there's also some flights that literally just take 1 hour to another country, which is pretty amazing as well. Right, the last one is probably the most important one. This is really something I believe in, and it's from my heart to your heart. If you want to go and travel more, you have to do this in your full-time job. Work hard. You might think, Sandy, oh, I'm trying to work hard. What does that mean? What has that got to do with traveling more? But hear me out. If you work hard and if you do your best, you will be good in your job, right? And your manager will see that you're good in your job, and other people around you will see that you're good in your job. So you will be trusted to basically do things that, you know, you might feel uncomfortable with if you're not really doing that well in your job. For example, let's say that cheap Ryanair flight that we were talking about actually leaves from Stansted at 8 p.m. on a Thursday, on a Friday, but you haven't taken Friday off. But obviously if it leaves at 8 p.m. it might be a little bit difficult to get to Stansted in time, working until 6. But if you're good in your job and if you've worked really hard, trust me, every manager will tell you, obviously it's okay if you leave an hour early to get to the airport. I know you've worked really hard, that is not a problem. Or other things, talking about that flight again, you just need an extra hour. If you've worked hard and if people around you trust you, they will say to you, no problem, just come in an hour early and leave an hour early. So you'll get all these little bonuses and extras and trust from your colleagues and your manager that will allow you to catch those flights and to maybe come in an hour later in the morning if you're coming from Paris on the Eurostar, but it was the cheaper one. So that for me was actually one of the most important things. So if you work hard and if you're doing well, you will find it easier to take an hour here or there, or even take actual holiday, because your manager will know that you will do everything before you leave, fix everything, you know, make sure everyone knows what to do before you leave, and that you will pick up your work when you're back from your holiday. There will never be an issue with booking general holidays at all. So, and it's also good for you, you know, it's like good for you to know that when you're on holiday, you've done your best and your work is going fine. So it's mentally, for your mental health, also very important. So please also bear this in mind and do your absolute best in your 9 to 6 job. And this is it from me today. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you travel and work full-time? What do you think this actually means? Are you dreaming about doing it? Are you maybe working and not traveling? Are you maybe traveling and not working? Let's have a discussion below. I love you all for watching and supporting me over during all those travel destinations. You can find my playlist about travel somewhere here or in the cards or on this screen. TBC. That's it. Bye bye guys.